Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Track Girl Summer. I am your
Are-
host, Natasha Hastings, and this is my co host, Kori Carter, and we're bringing the culture to track and field.
yes, we are. Sorry. I had like a little hiccup in my throat. Oh, sorry. Got it. Track girl summer. Track girl summer.
Follow me, Natasha Hastings, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Follow the Kori Monster, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, no Facebook. Most
I actually am
importantly,
on Facebook. You do this every time. I'm
yeah,
there.
but you're not on it, so not Facebook. Um, but most importantly, the reason why you're here, follow Track Girl Summer, Facebook. See now, look, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Okay, trackgirlsummer.com. All right, we're coming to you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're doing things a little bit differently now, as you can see. We got to switch it up. Life happens, but we're still bringing the tea. We're still bringing the shenanigans, just in a little bit of a different format, but we're still delivering. Um, so
Yeah, this is our
yeah,
first. Is this our first non-live show?
this is our first non-live show. We've done one where I did we inserted a pre-recorded interview, but this is like the first time.
I feel like I'm gonna miss the chat, but honestly, I'm not gonna miss the chat because our guest today is so fire. I probably wouldn't be looking at it anyway. So
Yeah, our
sorry,
guest
guys.
today is dope. Here we always say we are fans of the athletes, but more so fans of the people. But this guest today is someone that we've said time and time again on our show, give Brittney Reese her MFing flowers. We don't cuss, but if we could cuss, you know what we would say. But before we get into our guest and the fit check,
Put some respect on her name.
Kori,
The
y'all
name
know
is
Kori
Brittany
is going.
Reese.
Before
Okay,
we
I'm
get
gonna
into
start this
our
up. Okay.
lovely guest, okay, don't forget to check out trackgirlsummer.com. Kori is rocking our trucker hat today. I got mine close by, but it's not on. We got trucker hats, t-shirts, some more dope stuff coming. Any other updates that you want to check out? All of our Instagram, YouTube, everything lives at trackgirlsummer.com. Also, when you get your t-shirt or your hat, make sure you take a picture, tag us in it so we can share, join the culture, okay? We're here to share the culture. Let us know that you like our products and we'll get more to you. So, Kori, you ready to get the show started?
Yeah. Fit check today. I'm going for like Cali swag, like giving you a Leah with the
Oh yeah,
baggy
this is real
jeans.
Cali 90s.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know I'm a '90s babies. '90s raised me. Lipstick 14s on. Kovu said, we going West Coast, Best Coast. Like, let me just put on the black bandana, you know, because if there's one thing my baby gonna do is look fly. You should take a picture, like screenshot this. Um, there you go, baby. So she's looking cute, like tomboy cute, like always.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. She's giving you natural glam today. I got on no makeup, no lipstick, but I am rocking my lashes and my lash glue. Um, Same old fluffy wig. And I'm just giving y'all grad school life, okay? I'm in a Carolina hoodie because I had class today, and such is life. This is the vibe on campus, so this is the Track Girl Summer vibe today. It
Come
was
on,
a
grad
rainy
student.
day, so I had on some rain boots.
Okay, grad student realness. Um, but I'm over your outfit. I just really want to get to Brittany Reese.
Yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to it.
I feel like y'all, she's underrated and unappreciated, and the time for that needs to stop right now. Like, so if y'all didn't know, she is the 2007 and 2008 NCAA champion in the long jump for Old Miss. She's a four-time Olympian.
Did you
Olympian.
say old miss?
I said, oh,
It sounded like you said the D at the end. Ole Miss.
Am I going to do this introduction or are you going to come at
I
me?
just had to get you right. SEC, just making sure you.
Okay, here's the thing is I'm trying to do Brittany Reese's introduction and it is so long because she's accomplished so much. So I do not
Well,
need to
as you
interrupt.
said, we're going to put some respect on her name. So I wanted to make sure that we also put some respect on Ole Miss.
I said in 2009, she got first at the World Championships in the long jump. Then in 2010, in the World Indoor Championships, she got first in the long jump. Then in 2011, at the World Championships, she got first in the long jump. Then in 2012, at the World Indoor Championships, she got first in the long jump. Then in the same year, at the London Olympic Games in 2012, she got first in the long jump. 2013, World Championships, what'd she get? First in the long jump. 2016, World Indoor Championships, she got what? First in the long jump. Then we go to Olympic Games, 2016 Rio, she got silver in the long jump. 2017, came back, London, first in the long jump. 2018 World Indoors, she got silver in the long jump. In 2021, Tokyo, she got silver in the long jump. I'm not done. She is number 9 all time. She's tied for number 9 all time outdoors. She has the area record and the national record and number 4 all time indoor long jump. Am I done? Yeah.
Are you?
Maybe.
Welcome, Brittany.
You got more medals than fast base, okay?
It's been a good journey.
I'm just curious. Is there a longer streak from 2009 to 2016? Does anybody have a longer streak than that?
Definitely not a long jump.
No.
I can't think of none either.
I might end the show right there. Like, do we need to say more? We do because she's amazing off the track as well. But my gosh, Brittany Reese.
Not one bronze.
No bronze in my case.
Brittany Reese is always top 2, and most of the time she's not number 2. I'm telling you.
8 golds, 3 silvers. I mean,
yep.
My chest hurts a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just like, I'm surrounded by greatness, and my body physically can't handle it. But welcome to Track Girl Summer. Thank you so much for coming. It's more than a pleasure to have you.
It's an honor. And a pleasure.
I'm grateful. I'm excited for this one. This is cool. So thanks for having me.
To have you. Where are you at right now? You home? You traveling?
I'm in Mississippi right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in Mississippi right now. Yeah.
Okay. We like to get a little nosy. I saw you were doing some traveling and stuff, enjoying the season.
I'm leaving again on Friday. So.
Okay, be safe in these pandemic streets.
Streets.
Panoramas.
Why does it do this? Well, Brittany, I might fangirl all night, so excuse me. I would love to know how you got started jumping.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I got started. I was running track in the 7th grade, and I didn't start long jump until the 11th grade. And the way I was started long jump was the track coach brought the basketball team out and was looking for a long jumper. He wouldn't give me the opportunity to try out for the long jump because I was running the 400 and I had sprints and all the other things. So he basically pushed me to the side and no, you can't try it, whatever. So after a couple people went, he finally let me go. And my first jump ever, I jumped like 17 feet. And like he couldn't believe it. He was like, go back again and do it again. So I went back again, and at that time I jumped like 17.5. So I always tell people it was a hot day in Mississippi, and the bet was whoever jumps the furthest get a Coke. So I say I kind of basically won the long jump because I won a Coke at the end of the day.
But so you picked up the long jump in the 11th grade.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I told you, I have a theory that, because I say this all the time. Like, we see this trend of like these parents pushing their kids to like specialize and focus on track at like 3 years old. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell you, the great ones were like, picked it up in college, decided when I was, yeah, well, but that's amazing. And I wanted to ask you, because you are the long jump beast, I'd be remiss to not get your insights on how you approach the long jump, like your technique. I know that you hang, or like, do you think, I know some jumpers are more power, more jumpers are more speed. Like, how do you jump?
I think I'm more, obviously I hang, but I think I'm more of a speed jumper. I feel like a lot of the USA athletes are speed jumpers. When you start seeing more powerful jumpers, you start seeing people from like Europe and things like that. So for me, and my everyday, I just don't like to lose. To be honest, that's just how I approach the long jump. I'm going out to dominate every single time. I'm going out to win and not lose.
So
I hear that.
I want to backtrack a little bit though, because you found the long jump in the 11th grade, but you also played basketball and like considered
and ran cross country.
Her name.
Okay.
I ran cross country, yeah.
So I wanted to hear though, like making the choice out of those three now, choosing to go to Ole Miss, staying home essentially, but a great university nonetheless, SEC.
Yeah.
And then I also like to hear, Kori touched on a bit like specializing too early, but I'm curious to also hear, I think it's valuable to hear like maybe some of those transferable skills from basketball to you jumping.
Yeah.
I threw a lot at you at once.
So honestly, yeah, you're good. No, so a lot of people don't know this, but I went to a community college and played basketball for 2 years. I didn't even go straight to track and field. I was recruited. I signed with Ole Miss out of high school, but ended up taking a scholarship to community college up the street because of my grades, I think it was, my GPA. And I went to a community college for 2 years. I was supposed to go for one, and still I re-signed with Ole Miss, and I was supposed to go. But my basketball team was pretty good. I didn't want to like let them down, so I stayed an extra year. And then the reason why I had tons of basketball offers coming out of community college too. And the reason why I chose track and field was because in our regional game, the day before our regional game, a lot of our teammates got kicked off the team. Maybe like 2 or 3 of them got kicked off the team because of weed. They got caught smoking weed. So automatically you just get off. And so we went into a regional game with 6.5 people. And the reason why I say 6.5, because our point guard had a hurt ankle. So she basically was useless. Like she just was a body. So so we had 6.5 people, and we got, obviously, we got our butt kicked. And so it upset me a lot. So I got back home and I talked on the phone to my mom. And I basically, I was crying on the phone, and she was like, listen, you can either stick with basketball and keep relying on other people, or you can do track and field and rely on yourself. End of the story. I'm at Ole Miss.
All right. Okay.
And
so
you said that when you go out, you're just there to dominate, win, regardless. But I've heard Brittany out there having a good time at competitions.
Oh yeah, I talk, I laugh because I know I'm the best.
I love that. That I'm not bothered.
I understand. I'm not, because I understand. Um, I see myself in practice. I'm a film junkie. You can ask any of my training partners. I'm a film junkie. I know all my competitors. I know what they can do. I know everything. So when I'm going to a competition, I know what to expect from everybody else and what I'm capable of, what I've seen myself do in my films, and what I just needed to work on to jump those further jumps. So I'm going in relaxed and just prepared, basically. It's like going to a basketball game or any type of thing. You just go prepared and you just go out and do what you're supposed to do. And once you put in that work, there's no reason to go in with any kind of doubt.
Right. Well, all right. Kori, you all right over there?
Yeah, sorry, my plug like came undone, and I was like, "You're on 2%, girl." But I love that like you use knowledge and like understanding your competition, and that gives you confidence to step on the. I was gonna say step on the track, but step on the runway and be like,
Yes.
I already know what's about to happen. I just have to like do what I need to do to get it done.
Yeah, basically.
And I heard that you became a student of your craft after 2008, after you
Yes.
didn't do that well. Can you talk about that experience?
Yeah. Yeah, so in 2008 was my first Olympic team, second world team, basically, second USA team, and I'm still young. Like this is my first year professional, so I'm dating myself, but this is my first year coming out of
We're the
college
same
because
age.
I went pro.
You're not dating yourself. We
Yeah.
made
Okay.
sure we're the
Good.
same teams. Yep.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah. So 2008, my first year professional. I'm confused, don't know what's going on. But in the papers it's saying that, well, not the papers, but on the internet and everything, it's saying like I'm projected third. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm projected third. So go there, get fifth, ride back home, ride back to the village, and I'm crying because I knew I had a mindset that I was going to go in and give it my all, and I feel like I didn't do that. And so I made a promise to myself to never get left off the podium again. And I just went back and talked to my coach. I was like, I need to do this, this, and this. I watched all the other girls, and I saw how strong they were, how they were landing, body positions. I wanted to look like those girls, and I'm just still skin and bones, but I wanted to get faster and I wanted to get stronger. So I went back and talked with my coach. I saw a dietitian. I saw a psychologist, and I just went back and just grinded basically and tried to do what I did in 2012, was to get the gold.
Well, it sounds like that was a promise that you kept for
For
a
real.
very long time. Still keeping it.
Yeah.
I always tell
Basically.
people you can lose once or you can lose twice. So if you lose once and you learn from it, you're not gonna have that same loss again. And I feel
For
like
sure. Mm-hmm.
anyone that's proven that to be true, it is Brittany Reese. That took one
that's
L
right.
and it was W's after
Hey,
that.
I'm a sore loser. I don't like to lose. So it is what it is.
Well, we
Gotta go
see
do what you
that.
gotta do.
We see that. So talk to us a little bit about working with I'm assuming a sports psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
I have I love getting into the minds of athletes, and we
Yeah.
see a bit of it on Twitter. I follow you on Twitter, and you are a joy to follow on Twitter because you bring the facts, you bring the knowledge, but you bring a little spice too.
Yeah. I
But
can get rowdy.
but I think, here at Track Girl Summer, we like to get into the mindset of a champion. So like tell us what that journey was like,
Mm-hmm.
even starting a relationship with a psychologist and how that
Mm-hmm.
helped your career.
I am, when I graduated from Ole Miss, I graduated with English and a degree in English with a minor in psychology.
Mm,
So for a while, I was diagnosing myself and just telling myself, certain things. And what really kind of set me off to get a really good sports psychologist and not like one from a school was when I had surgery in 2013. and I tore my hip labrum in 13. Yes, I did win the medal in 13, but I did it on a torn hip labrum. And once I had the
Not a
surgery
medal,
and
a gold medal.
Medal.
Let's be clear.
yeah,
I know you got a lot of them, but it was still gold.
yeah. I mean, I tore it in June. I knew exactly. I tore it in Rome. I knew exactly what happened. I just went off and I knew I tore it then.
Wow.
And just what I was doing at the World Championships was icy hot, Tylenol, Advil, and more icy hot. And I just was rubbing my labrum the whole entire competition, just trying to take the pain away as much as I could, and still ended up winning. But
They call her the long jump beast for a reason.
Right. I mean, I still ended up winning, but carry on.
But no, so when I had the surgery and I didn't bounce back the way I thought I should have bounced back. So in 2014, I think my furthest jump was 680. To me, that's terrible. Like I don't see myself ever. I always say this: if I'm jumping below 660, I'm done with the sport, because for me that's not a competitive jump for me.
Excellence is the standard.
That won't. Yes, and I don't. And for our standard is 675, so I'm giving myself 660. So I didn't bounce back the way I thought I should have, and I thought about retiring right then and there. And so my coach Jeremy Fisher recommended me a sports psychologist, and me and her clicked real well at the time. And she's the one that brought me back to life and just said, you don't want to retire, you just don't want to lose. And I said, well, yeah, that's true. So me and her just talked about it, and she got my mindset back to where we call it the inner beast, and taught me how to bring out the inner beast and let other things go when I'm on the runway. So I credit her a lot to my success from 13 on.
So, but she taught you how to bring out the beast, but you
Mm-hmm.
got that nickname at Ole Miss.
Yes, but when in 13, when I had the surgery, I couldn't figure out how to get that mindset back, that winning mindset, because I was so focused on what if my hip hurting, or what if I'm not going to jump for it, because my confidence leading up to 2012, I knew I was the best. It was no brainer. It was no track meet that I went to where I was like, you're going to lose. And if I did lose, it was on me, and I would go back and study and figure out what I did wrong, and watch some videos with my coach, or watch some videos by myself, and try to figure it out what I did wrong. But if I lose, it's solely on me. It's nobody else's fault when I lose. It's always me, and I just go back and fix the problem. But once I had that surgery and couldn't jump over a certain distance, she was the one that taught me this is what you was doing back then that you can still do now.
I think that's so important to highlight, because I don't think a lot of people talk about the mental aspect of overcoming injury, in that as athletes, we rely on our body. And it's like, if I tell my body to do something, it does it. And when you get injured, all of a sudden you have to relearn your body, and also learn how to trust your body again, because it failed you in such a catastrophic way that before you could jump without fear. And at the end of the day, my body's always going to hold me up and have my back. And then when it fails, you start second guessing yourself. And sometimes you could be completely healthy, but you're like holding yourself back because of that fear that what if I injure again? What if I'm not where I think I am? Yeah, I think
so she taught me about with my mindset. Like, she taught me a lot of different ways to block negativity, because that's what it was. It was just negativity, unnecessary negativity. And she taught me how to block it when I'm on the runway. She taught me how to block it when I'm at home. She taught me how to meditate. And I started meditating. Started doing a lot of things to prepare my mindset, so when I go to a competition, nothing comes out but the beast.
That so much. You brought up your coach, Jeremy. Can you talk about your guys' relationship, how you guys train? I know you're at the Olympic Training Center, what that's like. And I know you guys throw down a couple bets every now and then. I've heard about the bets. Okay.
Oh yeah. No, I make money off of him.
That's what I hear.
I make tons of money off of him. Yeah, we have. I feel like that's me and his relationship. That's how we get things done is like through bets. It can be a bet at practice. It can be a bet at the track meet. He'll just throw out, "Oh, I'll give you $200. You jump this." I'm like, "Okay, bet," and we'll shake on it and we'll go. I'll go and jump it in practice. That's just how it is. Like we have I mean, he's not that much older than me, but
So
we
does
have
he like losing money though? Because
to me, he do. I mean, if you go look at my Instagram, I can count at least 10 videos where I've won $100
like,
off
why
of.
would he bet the?
So,
First of all, why would he bet the beast? Second of all, he's coaching
hey,
you. He knows what you can jump.
hey,
Like,
because some practices it looks like so he'll be like, no, I ain't betting you, but then I'll start out looking flat, and he'll be like, oh yeah, this the day I'm gonna get you now, and I was like, all right, I'm just warming up, and then he'll say, all right, $100 for 730 from a short approach off of a box. Give him 735 or something like that, and then take $100 and go do something with myself.
I
so
love that.
cash
Brittany
brings
said,
out the beast.
Cash,
I
money.
mean,
Money is the motivation.
you ain't a real competitor if you ain't willing to bet on yourself. If you ain't really ready to put money down
Hey,
on yourself,
I bet on myself every practice. Every time it's jump practice, I bet on myself.
But so
I get
I
broke
want to
off.
go a little bit like because talking about working with Jeremy, a few weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago we had Will on, and so like Will Clay, that is for those of you that are
Yeah.
watching that may not know, but like
Mm-hmm.
hearing y'all bet against each other, hearing how Will talks about Jeremy. Can you talk a little bit about that training environment? Like y'all are
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
beasts all around. Like I
Yeah,
can just imagine how that's yeah.
yeah. It's a really good training group.
Mhm.
Like I said, we got Will, we got Katora, we got Chris Bernard, who's made multiple Olympic team. And then we have our para athletes who are outstanding. Lex Gillette, who's blind, long jumper, got silver at the Olympics. We have Toby. We have so many. We have in our group. I think total we have at least 6 Olympians, able body and not. So I mean, the group it's a tough group. You have to bring the competition every practice,
Mhm.
every jump practice for sure. I mean, I jump against the guys. I don't care about them jokers. I give me like my little. I think I get a meter lead, and you can ask them. I hold the belt. I got the WWE belt. I,
Oh
they can't.
God.
They have never taken it from me. Matter of fact, it's right here. So if they watching it, this is our practice belt. Yep.
I'm making
And
a clip of that and adding all the guys.
I've had that belt for 2 years now. They can't beat me in
And they
practice.
still can't get it. Man, listen.
They can't
They
get
don't call you the beast for no
it.
reason.
I love that you train like you compete and you bring that energy. So I
Oh yeah.
understand now when you say like I get to competitions and it's just like I'm relaxed and you're confident because
Mm-hmm.
it seems like you're in an environment where you're
Oh yeah.
competing at practice, and so
Yeah.
you're just bringing that energy to the meet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the guys and they are outstanding. I've said this a couple times in interviews that a lot of that, a lot of the Brittany Reese that you see comes from my training group. Like they are the ones that push me. We don't let each other have a bad day.
Mm.
We try to turn it around and find some positivity in every practice. There's always a day to get better. And when we're off, we push each other to help each other get on back on. It's again, I credit them a lot to my success. Like they've pushed me to the max. I mean, I run with them with the guys. I run with Katora too, but I run with the guys. I do anything with them jokers. I don't care. I'm not backing down from them. So I do definitely credit my training group for a lot of my success these past couple of years.
I love that. Y'all be out there iron sharpening iron. Um
Definitely.
so as I read, it was like a freaking scroll. you have quite a few medals, but which one is your favorite? Which one was like that's the one?
Oh,
If
definitely
you
the
had,
London one. Yeah, definitely. Most definitely my first Olympic medal. Um, because of the blood, sweat, tears, and what I went through to get that medal, after not being able to get that medal in 2008, that's probably definitely my favorite, my favorite one out of all of them. It would be the first Olympic one.
I'm like, I feel like I'm just in awe of you. I I want to talk to you a little bit about you off the track because you are just as remarkable outside of track and in the field. First being that you have a son. Can you just talk about how that came to be and
Yeah.
what that's like?
Yeah, so with me and his mom are real good friends, and he was just getting in trouble a lot. And I've known, uh, well, I was there when he was born, so he's basically my godson. And so I just helped raise him for basically his whole life. And it came a point in time where he was, just getting in trouble and just wanted to be more around me. So that's where we came to. Understanding that I'll take him, and so he's mine.
How old is he?
Now it's 13.
Oh Lord, that's a grown man.
Tell me about it. Ooh, he's so bossy. Ooh.
I think that says a lot about not only your character but also your relationship, in that for a mother to be like, hey, take my child and raise them. I don't know anything that could be on Alex. His name is Alex, right? I'm making sure.
You're right.
I don't
You're
know
right.
anything that can be more humbling for like that just comes from a place of love for Alex's mother to be like, Brittany raised my son, and to see that like, hey, like you are such a remarkable person. Like this is who my son needs to be around. I think that speaks volumes about who you are as a human being.
Appreciate it. Yeah. He's a great kid. He sports. He loves sports and
He
food and
jumping?
things like that. He's growing like he has. He won the long jump in, I think it was 2 years ago, for his age group when he was 10.
Okay.
Yep, and got second in 100 and third in 200. He's an athlete.
Now, were you his coach? Because I know that you coach
You know
at,
it.
and you coach at San Diego Mesa College as well. You're an assistant coach. Can you talk
Yeah.
about? I've heard you said that there's a need for more women coaches. Can you talk about one, why you feel that's there is that need? And I also appreciate that you're not someone who also just talks about a problem. You become the solution.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just women in general. It's Black women too. Let's just be honest. Track and field is a lot of Black people in the sport, and I feel like just me being back at home and watching, the kids grow up, and a lot of their coaches are males, and we have a lot of young women, that can be influenced by a lot of these great women around, and I feel like it's good for us to see our kind succeeding also, and being coached by our women and things like that. So the sport is, I mean, if you just think about it, just SEC alone, they do a great job of hiring women, and but all the other conferences is a lot of male head coaches, a lot of male figures on these team, and then you have a team full of women, and the coaching staff is men. It just seems weird to me. Like, just feel like you just need to be more women faces, whether it's white or Black, but I prefer, you know.
I often say, too often the decisions that are being made for us are being made by people that don't have to make the choices that we make or have to make, don't walk the life that we live, don't walk the experience that we live. So I applaud you, and think that is, I couldn't agree more with needing more of us, and more of us colored women, Black women, faces, as the leadership, as the ones to lead our women onto these podiums, and lead these student athletes, but
Because
ultimately
if you
being an
think
example.
it's a lot of women. I'm not saying that Black women don't coach, or women in general don't coach. They're not getting the opportunities to be in these head positions.
Yeah.
That's what I'm basically.
Yeah.
They're not getting the position. There's tons of them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're more so at the high school level,
Mm-hmm.
and not at the SEC level, because they're great coaches. They just don't get the opportunity, and we just see a lot of men get those opportunities. We don't see a lot of women getting those interviews that they deserve.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Carol Smith getting that head coaching position at UGA.
And just look at her staff.
Her resume.
It
Yep.
speaks about.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, it's a lot of. Even the Ole Miss coach is a Black woman,
Mm-hmm.
and she has taken Ole Miss level to now a national level. Like, our cross country team is just outstanding. And we have a lot of great athletes come out of Ole Miss. So I applaud
Yourself
Ole Miss for
included.
making that type of move. Oh yeah, most definitely. But we got Sam Kendricks. We have tons of people. Isaiah Young. A good amount.
So coaching is a long term. We're gonna see you head coaching a university, or
possibly.
Okay.
I'm making some moves.
All right. We know excellence is the standard, so
Hey, you'll see me around.
Right. Let me tell you something. If I was a long jumper and I'm walking into a competition and Brittany Reese is my coach, you can't tell me nothing. You can't. No. Absolutely not.
Hey.
Stop.
There was a reason why I coached at the community college level. I wanted to not only just gain experience, but I also wanted to make sure that.
Oh, hey, is that Alex?
It was Alex. He said he tried to get out the way. So come say hey real quick. Who was that? Just come say hey.
Hi.
Hey, Alex. We just talked about you.
About you. I'm in an interview. Okay.
Stay in interviews.
If
you ever need somebody to humble you, it's your kids.
For real. No, seriously. Just have a child. Wait, your turn is coming.
Kori.
Me?
You got some years.
I've been a mother. You saw my son. Let me tell you something.
Is the dog day? You bossy?
Clover this morning stood at the door and was like, I don't know about you, but we going on this walk. And I said, all right, look. But that's just the trials and tribulations of motherhood. We understand. We are all the same.
They keep you humble for sure. They keep you humble.
I refuse. I'm not. So
we're all the same.
You chose to coach at a community college.
Okay, yeah. So I chose to coach at a community college just to gain experience and just be a light to some of these kids, to give more kids motivation and showing them that they can succeed. And I enjoyed it. The kids are like, basically like my kid. They were fun to be around, and I enjoyed it a lot. And they actually did really good and went up to nationals. And one of my kids placed second in the 100 and third in the 200 in nationals at the community college. So did pretty well.
And I wonder if, just speaking from your experience of going the community college route yourself, I feel like you now being back in that space is like you're like the prime example of like, look.
Mm-hmm.
And not only am I the prime example, but I'm coming back to like, y'all, this is like, the sky's the limit, So I
Yep.
love that. I'm really big about like us not only achieving our dreams, but going back and paying it forward,
Going back and paying, yes. That's why when I
Yeah.
come home, every time I come home, that's why I'm home to do interviews, and I go speak at schools, all the way from elementary to high school. I go to I go to football games. I go to basketball games. I'm at volleyball games. Like, 'cause I want these kids to see me,
Hmm.
to see that I made it and what I've done, and be able to have that type of a motivation to go and pursue whatever it is that they want to pursue. I give out scholarships. I do all types of stuff because I want those kids to be motivated and
Yeah.
stay off the streets, because around here it's getting kind of bad. So they just see a face that they can recognize and know that succeeding, it probably can go a long way.
Yeah, we had Bianca Knight on as well, and she talked about what she's
Yeah.
doing in Mississippi as well. So, knowing that we have beacons like y'all paying it
Oh
forward,
yeah, most definitely.
don't forget where you
Mississippi
come
needs it.
from. You're that tangible
Oh no.
resource. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just,
And I already know what type of coach you are by the fact that you called them your kids and not your athletes.
mm-hmm.
I'm like,
I was strict on them, but I definitely play with them a lot, and it's just they enjoyed a lot of the things that we played a lot of games, but it was to what fact to where they were still getting the workout. But I was pretty, the workouts was pretty tough. Like, some of that stuff I made up, and I was like, I would never run this in my life. But they enjoyed it.
I hope none of your athletes are watching this.
And the funny thing about it, I'm glad I made a huge impact on their lives, because I talk to a majority of them still, and I haven't coached them in like 4 or 5 years, and I still talk to them. So they hit me up every now and then.
that's why I said they're your kids, not your athletes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They my kids. It was
And,
my boys, because it was mainly boys.
and you mentioned it, but I wanted to highlight you have the Reese scholarship. Can you talk about that? Because it's a one male, one female.
It's one male, one female, and it's at the local. It's at the high school that I attended, and it's for anybody. This is not sports related at all. So basically, the school gives them a topic, and they write a 2-page essay. The school picks the top 3, and I pick the final one, and then I go to the graduation and hand them out. I go to their graduation and hand them a check personally.
Like, Kori, what are you doing with your life? I don't know.
I would just like to be handed a check from Brittney Reese. Okay, I'm just saying. But speaking of putting,
It goes towards whatever they want it to go.
speaking of putting
You
your money
have a
where your
big
mouth
heart.
is, because not only do you have a big heart for the kids and the generation to come, but you also advocate through your own professional career. And Kori and I have this debate.
It's not a debate because you really aren't bringing anything to the table.
I don't care. And I know I have arguably the greatest long jumper on our show here, and I know our opinions are going to differ, but I'm okay with that. Okay, I can respect the queen. Okay,
Can I just ask something? Brittany, you just set the record straight? Please break this down so it forever will be broke and I won't have to listen to Natasha's mouth no more, because just go ahead and ask your question, but just know, Brittany, I need you to set her straight.
well, number one, okay, so let's go back. From 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2016, indoors, gold medal, silver medal, gold medal, silver, right? The people may be wondering, why don't we see the Olympic gold medalist at the Diamond League events? And you're like, where most athletes would be like, I got to go make this bag, you're like, we don't get 6 jumps. If we're not getting 6 jumps at this competition, I won't be there. If we are, I will, and pay me my money. Okay. But we're in a sport that, beyond the 6 jumps, we could go on and on. It's an episode in itself about us collectively bargaining and
Correct.
doing things to move the sport forward for us as the athletes. But as someone who is literally putting their money where their mouth is and is like, I believe in this cause so much that I'm willing to leave this money on the table and let you dusty hosts. No, I'm just kidding. Let y'all go after these Diamond League events. Like, tell us about, obviously, we can just guess how you feel about the sudden death rule, but just explain to us how important it is to you that the field events have 6 jumps, and what it means to you, to why you're willing to be like, hey, if this isn't what you're giving the athletes, I don't care. I won't be there. You're not going to have the gold medalist there. You're not going to have your premier athlete there.
You know, it means a lot, and it's time that we take a stand, not just on this, but on a lot of things that's happening in track and field right now. That the athletes are the people that we bring the attention, we bring the money, we bring the crowd, we bring all that. So we should be the focal point of our event. Not like you said, the 6 jump rule it's retarded. We need 6 jumps because we fly 10 plus hours to a track meet to jump 4 or 5 times. But the way the program is set up, only 3 of the final get the jumps. So they tried to play this in, I might be wrong, but I think they tried this in 2016. They tried this indoor. It was one of them indoors that was in Portland.
I think you're right.
They tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they tried it then. And that's when it ended up working out for my benefit because, I mean, I wasn't about to lose no way. So
hold on.
They tried
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
But it for a lot of athletes that come in, when we get there, when you have the 6 jump, it reorders for you. And for a lot of those athletes that don't get that jump, it puts the first, second, and third place person that do get the jumps at a disadvantage because now you're tired because they make you go straight into it. So you're not able to get a good amount of rest to where you can perform on your best final jump. So none of the Diamond League's final jumps have been further than any of the other jumps that they previously jumped in round 1 through 5. That tells a story. And then also it just hurts. It hurts the athletes and can cause injury. And it's just a dumb rule.
Why?
It doesn't bring attention. It doesn't bring attention. So the reason why they change is they want to bring more attention to the athletes, to the field. We're not on TV. You don't show us on anything. So what is the point of you even giving us 5 jumps and possibly 6? You're not showing us. You only show the winner. So what was the point of you even messing with the jumps?
Natasha,
I don't have to
advocate. You want to answer the question?
I mean, I'm not the broadcaster.
Oh, now you ain't the broadcaster.
I'm not, but I do still stand on, you said, we fly over 10 hours. We fly over 10 hours. I only get one shot. My semi is always faster than my final.
Really? That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think because the long jump is about jumping, period. Yes, you do run 1 lap. It is over quick for you guys, but we're used to 6 attempts. And I feel like we put a little bit more on our body than you guys do. Like you're done in 49, 50 seconds. while we have to stay out there for 2 hours, bamming our body on the ground at sand. So I feel like it's a little bit more impactful than maybe being on the track.
So getting those extra rounds with getting those rounds with the other competitors allows you to recover so that you can perform better, is what I'm hearing. And what I'm also hearing
but the way
advocating for athletes getting hurt in the long jump by supporting this rule is what I'm hearing.
That's another one. And the way they reorder it is just it's not good. The way they reorder it for the final three, and then the way you win. So they swipe out everything from the first to fifth round, and only the top three jumps is determined who get the first, second, and third. So you can break the world record in the fourth jump, and on the sixth jump, you won't break. If you foul, you don't get nothing.
What happens if everyone fouls? Like, what happens if all three foul? Well, I guess
then you have to give it to the person that was already in first place. And that was my solution to a lot. That's what I was telling them. I said, okay, if you guys are going to go, how about everybody just scratch? And the winner that is supposed to win actually wins. Because the person who won the Diamond League for the long jump did not win none of the competition until her final jump. Like, her last jump's what made her win the Diamond League every single time. She never had the furthest jump.
So what you're telling me is that the best long jumper.
But it happens that way sometimes.
The best long jumper.
Sometimes the person
on the last
just somehow snuck into the semi had the race of their life in the final, and they came out victorious.
So this is what
they beat all those people in the race. They ran faster than those people.
And so she jumped farther on that day. In that
final.
Not
on the last
jump.
Not on the day.
Not on the day.
On that one jump.
But but the women's 100, the women's 100 semi and final is in the same day, and she could have run faster in the semi, but in the final she didn't run faster.
Natasha, I don't understand why you are so like adamant that like track and field have to be the same. Like, they do different. Like next,
I'm not saying that it has to be the same. I'm saying that.
So do you want like the high jumpers to pick?
I see why. Listen, I'm not making the decision. I'm just giving my opinion. You don't have to like my opinion. I'm not trying to change your opinion. I'm just giving my arguments for why I feel like it's the same.
So my question is, to keep it the same, would you like high jump to be like, hey, we're all going to jump this one height. Everyone gets one attempt because Natasha only gets to go around the track once. Y'all only get to jump once.
Sure.
Now you know that don't make no dang sense, Natasha.
I don't get y'all get a foul. You get a foul and you get to do it again. If I step on the line once, I'm disqualified.
I think it's a lot easier to.
Maybe you should advocate for that, though. You should take that part out.
But here's the thing: I think it's a lot easier to not step on the line than to foul. It is. I think it's very.
We're running full speed trying to steer,
and we're running full speed trying to steer as well.
But you're not jumping while steering.
You have a lane this big to stay in. They got a board this big to hit. Mm-hmm. And as a hurdler, I understand getting my steps right, like the margin of error and making sure your stride's the same. Mm-hmm. It's very.
But we also talked to Edwin Moses about how important it is to hug that line and run. As little as you can, just as you're trying to maximize the board and get as close. Listen, I'm not trying to argue with the beast, okay?
The margin for error in the sprint is much wider. The margin
I'm not moved. I'm not moved.
But here's the point that matters. The point that matters, Natasha, is that your opinion doesn't matter. Brittany Reese.
I still have one. I'm not arguing with the beast. I'm just saying, okay? I don't
I
have
get
no
it, but I
margin
mean,
of
long jump.
error.
It's been
I
that way
get
for
one
all these
shot.
years, and now you want to switch it.
Brittany,
And
It's still
nobody
not the
likes
same.
change. I understand that. I'm also a creature of habit. I don't like for things to be changed after doing things a certain way for so long. I understand. I do.
Let me ask you this: do you think the last 3 rounds are more exciting than just having 6 straight rounds? The last jump, the 6th round. Do you think that's more exciting than just watching the full competition as it is regularly?
I honestly, I feel like if I'm there in person to watch it and watch it like the whole
that
time,
wasn't the point.
but I'm gonna say yes because I am also the person that has said that, or not said. I truly believe I don't enjoy just watching domination. I like to see competition, and I like to see who's going to do it under pressure. Who's going to
Mm-hmm.
I've done the 5 jumps. We're all tired. Who's gonna gut it out for this last one? I do like to see it. I do like
The
to
thing
see
But
is,
the
I feel like you
but why
don't get an
not let
opportunity.
everybody do that?
hmm
Why not let everybody have that
because everybody
opportunity,
don't make
not
it to the
just the
final.
top 3 people?
Because everybody don't make it to the final.
There's a lot more than 3 people
But
make it to the
in our
final.
company, there's
If we're
8.
doing if
Yeah,
we're
in the
doing
diamond league,
everything, if
there's
we're doing
But it's
everything
only the
exactly
8.
top
the same.
3, right? So it's still first, second, and third.
But first, second, and third are not the only ones who get to compete for first, second,
Okay.
and third.
So
If you want
would
things to
y'all
be
feel
exactly the
better?
same,
Would y'all
Natasha.
feel okay? So would you feel better if it was the top 8 that made it to the last jump, the last sudden death, and whatever you jump in from 1 through 8, that's how you finish?
That might be a little
I mean,
better. I still don't like
that's how
it.
the competition is. Yeah, that's how it is at the Olympics. The final 8 are the ones that get to
Okay.
compete for
So if
first.
it's the
Because,
final 8 that's
and
the
the reason
sudden
why,
death, then
yes,
all
yes,
right.
the final
Okay.
Count.
8.
All right. So
You
make it final 8 then.
don't fly 8 people. Yeah. So don't fly 10 people out and say, oh, only 3 get the jump for the final, for the top 3 spots. That's not right, because I've won a lot of my competitions on my last jump.
And
I can
so,
jump from 6th to first,
right.
but I can jump from 6th to first easily.
Yeah.
But if I'm not in
So
that top 3, I don't get that opportunity.
so if it's 8 in that sudden death, you're more okay with the 8 in the
Hmm.
sudden death than 3. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
because they're usually flying 8 to 10 people out there.
All
So
right.
Can
it's only right that those top 8.
I ask a question? Because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like in the sprint, it's a lot easier to not, false start than it is to foul, right? So let's
Mm-hmm.
say you make it to the final round. Are you a little bit more cautious because, if I foul, I'm out completely,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't really go for a big jump because you have to run it under control and make sure you hit the board. And therefore, it's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that's maybe the reason why you're not seeing far jumps on the 6th jump? Because it's like, I can't even go for it like I want to because I
Yes.
gotta make sure I don't foul. Because if I foul,
Yes.
I'm out of it completely.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
That's fair.
100%. You're not
But then
seeing
there's
the bigger jumps on the last one.
that's fair. That's fair. But then you see Elaine Thompson, who lines up next to Shelly Ann Frazier, and she knows I got to get out next to Shelly Ann Frazier because if I don't get out and she gets too far ahead of me, I might not get her back. So
Well,
is that
Natasha,
performing under pressure?
everything.
I just
We're gonna make 8 lanes of runways. Everyone has to jump at the exact same time, and you have to be in the air while everyone else. We're gonna make a long jump pit the size of a Olympic size pool.
I'm
And
with
everything.
it. That sounds like it would be dope.
But
Actually,
no, so
we're
how
doing
come
long
you
jump.
guys get 8 and we only get 3?
I'm with you.
How come you get to take 8 to the final and we only get
I'm
to
with
take
you.
3 to the final?
Let's take 8 to the sudden death. I'm with you on that. I
You
am
know
with you
what?
on that.
If since Natasha wants things to be the same, we're just gonna take out the jump part completely. Let's just race down the runway. Like, let's just make jumpers into track athletes at this point. to
They
make
are track
like
athletes. They're field athletes. Track
field
and field.
athletes.
Yeah.
The field and the track part are completely different.
Do you feel like you don't get the recognition you deserve because the powers that be, whatever, has not figured out a way to make field like as marketable, as they don't put it on TV as much as the track events? Because I feel like you should. I feel like you should be more of a household name. I mean, like in my heart, you are, but I feel like
I think that's a feeling. Like, again, let's go back to this resume. Who has dominated like this?
I know I'm saying it's like, but I feel like field does not get the recognition that they would deserve. For example, I think it might have been to present you. I was at annual meeting for USA Track and Field. They gave me, I was presenting for the field events, like field. It was you. It was Field Performer of the Year. So
It was
I think
me.
it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they gave me the script, and they said something to the point of like, yeah, like not as. If they said something basically that equated you field athletes to being like less than track and field. They're like not as. I forget the exact, and I was like, I'm not saying this because track is nothing without field, and they didn't. I don't think they meant it like that, but the way they worded it, I was like, you guys are making y'all like field events seem like second-rate citizens in the world of track and field, which I don't think is right. I think you guys deserve more recognition. Like we know when the money breaks down, field athletes do not make as much as track athletes. And part of it is because it's way more marketable to put my logo on a track athlete who I know whether you get first, second, or third, if you're in the race, they're going to see my logo. Where if you're a field athlete, you better win because they might, and they still might not show you. And that, I feel like I am a fan of her, and I'm a fan of all the events. So I'm not as much, but like it is upsetting to me when I see how they do y'all field athletes. If I'm being real, if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
And
on several different levels.
100% honest, the female field athletes
Dominate. Yeah. I am underrated. I am underappreciated. But my career, I've never focused on things like that. I just go out and do what I'm good at and what I love to do, and that's competing and having fun out on the track. And I do think part of it is because they just don't know how to market the field athletes the correct way. When we go overseas, they love, like I go to Germany, they love Mahambo. I mean, absolutely adore her. And they make sure they find ways to implement the long jump at certain spots. So I've jumped in Germany at the Brandon Gate Bridge, I think it's the Brandon Gate, on a street meet. I feel like things like that, putting cars up, like just they finding ways to market the long jump in the field events, like comparing us to jumping the distance of 2 or 3 cars. There's ways to do it to show love to the field, and I just feel like we don't know as a whole in the USA. I'm not even going to say overseas because I think they understand, they get it. I've seen people jump in grocery. They did a high jump in a grocery store
in the
once.
grocery store.
Like they do pole vaults in malls. I just don't feel like we're at that point yet. We know how to market our field athletes just as well as overseas, and which kind of get lost. And it ain't even just really about the long jump. Like, look at what Ryan Croucher did this year. Like, he does not get the credit that he deserves. This man broke the world record. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not by a little bit. And we don't hear those type of things. It's unfortunate. Look what the triple jumper from Venezuela broke. I mean, just a dominating performance. She's going to be the first woman to ever jump like 16 meters. Like, and nobody understands how magnificent, how great that will be. And just the field events just don't get that attention. And like you said, Kori, it's because we're not on TV as much, and we don't have the opportunity to show the logo as much. The minus the fact that we bring in a lot of medals as a USA, like field events bring in tons of medals every year. And just, but you don't hear about it. I mean, you'll hear about it, but then you don't hear about it.
I think it's laziness, honestly. I think, I maybe lazy isn't the word, but we've talked
Lazy.
about it. It's laziness,
It's lazy.
because we've talked about even in some of the broadcasting where stories are missed, where there are stories. But I think one of the things that other sports do a great job of that we miss out on is the grassroots marketing and your examples of like using cars to show how far we're jumping, having competitions in grocery stores. Like, you know, basketball is so marketable because of how close the fans are to the game. You know what I'm saying? Lausanne, certain stadiums, like you feel like you're in the crowd, like Paris, like they're close to the game. They're close to the field. And I think, when you do things like
Right.
bringing the sport to the grocery store, bringing the sport to the mall, it gives an opportunity for people to reach out and touch. I always say, like, reach out and actually touch the athlete. Those street races are popular because it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I can get up close and personal
exactly.
to these athletes. And that's a lot of the stuff that they do overseas. And that's, we go to those meets and have a lot of fun because it's like, yeah, you're having this experience with the fans. Yeah, you're there to do a job, but you're having these experiences with the fans,
Yeah.
and it gives the fans an opportunity to connect with the person, and so that they go back and they're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing such and such perform, so now I'm going to watch the Diamond League and the Olympics and the this and the that. But we don't do that grassroots stuff here in the States.
Nope. And I've jumped, and this is Germany. I jumped at an airport once, an old airport in Germany, and it was music playing and just an overall great atmosphere. And again, we just don't know, like you said, lazy. I'm not gonna say we just don't know. They know. They
They
just
know
don't
because they
want
once
to.
upon a time, Jackie Joyner Kersey, Mike Conley, and those guys were jumping in the grocery store. It's been done
Yeah.
here. It's
Yeah.
been
They just
done.
don't want to.
I just want to see, because I feel like it transfers to so many other things. Like, Natasha, if you could bring this picture up, like, I want to see more campaigns with you in these off-whites looking amazing. Like, this is one of the most exciting campaigns I've ever seen Nike put out. And I'm like, I've always said, why don't they use Brittney Reese more? You're one of their most winningest athletes that they have on their roster. And I'm just like, I want them to utilize the actual stars of the sports, the actual
Agreed.
beasts.
It
Whether
don't even have to necessarily be good, but it's. I would love to go to. I mean, for example, it made me laugh, but the Sweetie video where she's trying to be like in soccer cleats. Why you couldn't have a somebody that's knowledgeable tell you that you need to be in some track spikes or helping you with things like that, or just like commercials when you see athletes, when you see models running around the track or doing something, they don't grab actual athletes, they just grab models.
Bro, if I have to see
Like
a Playtech Sport commercial one more time with terrible hurdle form again,
that's what I'm saying. Like, why you don't grab athletes? It don't necessarily have to be, me, but why you don't grab? We have Team USA is the best team
In the
in the
world.
world.
Mm-hmm.
You have that advantage to grab an athlete.
You can't tell me it's because we don't look good.
Now, that's what I'm saying. Like, track athletes have the body and
the face.
a lot of our track athletes and the face, and our athletes are nice, and I don't understand why we can't grab one and be like, oh, can you do this little 10-second thing on commercial for us. Like it's not that hard for them to pay us to run a lap or just come out the blocks or fake jump or something like that. I don't know. I don't get it. I've never gotten that.
Well,
But
I'll
yep,
be
that was a fun
advocating.
campaign though.
I want to see Brittany Reese long jump spikes. I'm gonna start jumping just so I can wear them. I want to see the Brittany Reese car commercials where she's jumping over cars. I want to see Brittany Reese in the grocery store jumping and getting her Safeway, HEB, Kroger's commercial. I want it all, and I want it now.
I
Put
wanted
some
to shoot.
respect on her name.
I feel like we
I
are
would
way
love
over
to see
time.
it too.
I don't even care.
We do.
Yeah. Y'all are funny.
Natasha, do you have any final questions for Brittany? I'm like, I don't want
I
to.
do. I want to hear. I mean, we heard so much of like what you're up to, how you're advocating through sport, but also through coaching and the things that you do. But, you know, is there anything else that we can look out for? You know, World Championships is home next year. Like, what should we be thinking when we're, you know, cheering Brittany Reese on? How can we champion any of your initiatives? Like, what do we need to be on the lookout for?
How do we support? How do we send you money?
Ooh, cash. No,
These comes
no, I
out for
got
the
a couple
cash.
things. Yeah, I got a couple things in the works. Probably another scholarship fund. I'm working on trying to get my own track club, summer track team,
Okay.
down here in the coast because these kids don't get that opportunity to. What I've learned over the years following football and following basketball, these kids get the opportunity to go to campuses and visit
Mm.
and talk with these coaches and go compete against some of the top athletes in the world, I mean, in the United States. And track, not track personally, but in Mississippi, because I never ran on the summer track program. I think Bianca Knight did, but I never did. And I live on the coast side of Mississippi. Bianca Knight's more inland. But we don't have a track program to where we are able to take these kids to the LSUs. I mean, LSU's right here, to Alabama, to some HBCUs. I mean, Mississippi's ton is full of HBCUs. Have these athletes travel over the summer and, be able to go visit colleges and talk with track coaches and see what needs to be done for them to be able to enroll. I feel like that's one of my main goals, and that's probably something that I'm destined to do, is to bring that type of awareness to these kids to get them that exposure that they need to be able to go to some of these top schools and get these scholarships. So be on the lookout for something like that. I'm planning on trying to get my own bus, and take these kids around to different track meets, and we'll stay the night. We'll go to South Carolina. We'll go to California. Just take them and let them visit some schools and take a pick and let these coaches see what they can do.
South Carolina we got a youth meet coming up. When we get the dates, I'll be sure to let you know so you can.
I'll be in South Carolina. I'll be at what's the little school in South Carolina right now? In Myrtle Beach. What's the school called?
Don't get me to lie. It's a lot of small schools out here.
It's not really small. Coastal Carolina.
Yeah. Coastal.
So I'll be there next week putting on a track camp. So
okay.
Get me on the lookout for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
What I love about Brittany Reese is we said, hey, Brittany, how can we support you? You said, well, I'm trying to get scholarships for these kids. I'm trying to get these kids to go to camp. I'm trying to get a bus to take these kids around. I'm putting on a track camp. We asked how we support you, and
support these kids.
Like pour into this next generation, and that's why I said, like, your resume speaks for itself, but your heart,
gold,
unmatched. Like,
appreciate it. It ain't about
We
me. It's always
we
about
really
the kids.
appreciate you. And with that,
Appreciate
I think that's a good note to end this interview that I'd never want to end. But
No,
thank you.
what's a good note to end it on is do your thing, Kori. Put some respect on Brittany Reese's name. Okay.
I'm gonna get up and yell. Y'all are gonna stop playing with Brittany Reese. Okay, let me tell you this right now. Okay, she's called the Beast for a reason. You mess around and find out. You don't put. Kori, calm down.
I can give you 8 reasons. I can give you 8 reasons, okay?
They all gold.
Put some respect on her MFN names. Here at Track Girl Summer, we're here to give the flowers now. We can give you some more
roses,
flowers
tulips,
tomorrow.
daisies,
Okay,
orchids,
what's your favorite flower?
daffodils,
Okay, like
sunflowers.
you ain't seen domination like this before. Okay, just a pure class act. I'm gonna do me, but I'm also gonna advocate for these other athletes. I'm gonna advocate for the youth. I'm gonna advocate for where I came from. Put some respect on her name. Put some respect on Brittany Reese.
Appreciate it.
Am I good to do the outro now? Thank you guys for joining us today. We'll rewatching this for our first pre-recorded show. Make sure you follow me at the Kori Monster, Natasha at Natasha Hastings, most importantly, the LJ Beast on all the things, especially on Twitter, but on all the things. And make sure you're following Track Girl Summer on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Go to our website, buy a shirt, try to look like me, get a hat. See, it fits so well with the outfits. And tune in for the next show. I don't know when this is airing, so I don't know when the next show is. And no matter what year it is always Brittany Reese's summer. Okay, I had to change the outro tagline because.
So wait, you got to do that one more time. You got to do it one more time because it froze, and we have to catch that on the. So
remember, no matter what time of the year it is, Brittany Reese is on the podium. Remember what time of the year it is Brittany Reese's summer, and that's it. I'm changing this to a Brittany Reese Stan account. All we're going to be posting from now on is Brittany Reese's highlight reels.
Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you, guys.